Bokuto, shit talk a Blake. The last videos they did, I was talking about my daughter and these codes also. I was talking about, my daughter being in these codes. Also, my sister Deborah is in these codes, and she is right before Timothy. Okay? So I'm going to talk a little bit about these codes because I have so much to talk about. I really don't know where to fucking start. But yeah, man, can't get comfortable. Yeah, they put me in a place. I call it a cave. And we have our own sink in our own bathroom, our own kitchen in our own bathroom. But it's one room, and the room is so damn small. And they did this so I cannot do these videos, to make everything so fucking awkward for me and to make extra work, because they know I don't like the extra work shit. I just don't like that extra work shit. Possibly why I just stopped doing the videos. So you're going to have to bear with me. I'm in the bathroom trying to find a way to get comfortable in this bitch to do this. But I'm going to do it. They can kiss my ass. So this one is the one that has my daughter in it. And see, this is the one I need right here. So I'm going to just let this roll for just a hot second. For me to do the things I do, I don't know. But here's Frank comes first, and then Donald, and then Rachel, and Sharonda, and Rachel Jenkins. Frankie is my mom. Donald is my sperm donor. Rachel is my baby girl. There's my sister Deborah. Sharonda is my enemy. This time she comes as a Campbell. And this is... Okay. It says this is my daughter. Here. Rachel Jenkins. Now her middle name is Rachel. No one even calls her that name. She didn't even want to have that name. But she does have a sperm donor, so he did have a say in the matter. And his mother, middle name is Rachel, so he wanted her to be Rachel. When my children were younger, I had them to begin to research their names so they will know who they are. So we get to Rachel, and it means to travel. That's one of the meanings, travel. However, Rachel is a character in the Bible. She was pregnant at the time, and she stole her Abba's gods. These were statues. And when her dad came after Jacob, and all his wives and children, well, he only had 2 wives, but all his children. He searched everyone, but no one searched Rachel, because Rachel was big and pregnant, and they just felt like, and Rachel was the apple of her Abba's eye, so they just looked over her. They did not find the gods, but they cursed whoever had the gods. After Rachel had that baby, she died. So I on the other videos, I said I called my daughter. She got back at me and said she'll call me when she comes in from work. I haven't heard from her since, and I'm not going to call her anymore. See, I know they make people pop-ups, and they want me to chase the pop-ups, the Pop-Tarts or the pop-ups. So I guess she went through trial by herself. She didn't call to let me know what happened. So, if you don't want me in your world, that's fine. Although I created you, I don't give a fuck. Don't let me in your world. You're letting all your perps and motherfuckers, stalkers, and your handlers, and your programmers, all those are in your dumbass life. I swear, people are so fucking stupid. And I really don't even want to use the program to say that they're under mind control. You know, you have to have a mind for someone to fucking control. And even if they're controlling your mind, you still should have a little bit of your own self left. But they don't. They are being fully controlled by the puppet masters, the handlers, the hackers, the programmers, whatever the fuck. These beasts who like to play in other people's brain cells' heads. Now here's my sister. She comes as Deborah, and then I guess it says Deborah. You know, it's kind of hard to see a video while you're doing a video. And it says Richardson. Now, once I saw my sister Deborah here, I said, it was somewhere, it said, contact old friends, you know. And I said, you know, Delia, you nasty bastard. That a bitch is. Delia. You don't want me and my sister to contact each other. You know you want to keep us apart. How about my sister Deborah contacted me? As they say, con, with a tack. Me. Wow, I'm just going to tell you a story. Shit, I can talk in my fucking video. Say what the fuck I want to say. My sister Deborah, she is a pop-up. You know? What I call a pop-up is someone that, you know, you don't hear from them until they need something, you know? You don't, like if you call them, you know, they never answer your call, you text them, they never text you back. It's like when they're living in the heaven, you know, everything is fine, it's okie-dory, you know, however they think that heaven is. You won't know about that, you know. But when they fall to hell, then they call you, you know. That's a pop-up. A pop-up is also someone that they will only call you when you, when they don't have anyone else to talk to. You know, when they have ran out of everyone to talk to, there's no one for them to talk to, so now they are alone. They'll go, oh, that's right, there's Israel, oh, that's right, there's Ema. Because they always know Israel and Ema don't have shit to fucking do. They really don't. I make shit to do. These niggas want me to sit around twiddling my thumbs and watching the fucking TV. I'm not going to do that shit. Okay, so my sister Deborah, she calls me now. This is what she says when she calls. Hey, I'm going to get a ticket and I'm going to come down there. I need you to do my hair. You hear that? Hey, I'm going to buy me a ticket and I'm going to come down that way so you can do my hair. She did not ask what I was doing, what I was going through, how I am, this and that. She just called and demanded that she's going to come to my apartment and and then she gave me a job to do, you know, to do her hair. She has dreads, and every now and then, maybe once a year, she comes down for me to lock them, you know. Anyway, she tells me her plan and every damn thing, you know. Not one time did she ask if she could come. I'm going through a bunch of shit dealing with Rachel Jenkins. Because there was another program, the Hebrew Israel, and that means that program had just been made. Once they made that program, they came to Rachel Jenkins and they took the prophet away from her. Well, they took her baby Yakel away from her. I call him the prophet. And next thing I know, now I'm going through all this hell with her, you know, the court and having to bow down to them pig bastards. Man, I wish it was just a way I could just look at them and the pictures just fucking melt or something, you know, somehow disappear. And next thing I know, my sister Deborah is calling me. She wants me to do her hair. And she says she's going to come down. She even had her own day to come down. Not asking me shit. And so I tell her, I said, you can't come down right now. I said, right now we're going through a lot. She didn't give a fuck what we were going through. She didn't even say, so what you going through? But I was like, you can't come down right now. I'm going through a lot. This apartment is very, very small. And keeping her family, they will be here. And Rachel Jenkins will be here. We don't call her Rachel Jenkins. And so, in me and Makaya, I said, it's going to be too many of us in this room. She wants to come on a certain weekend, right? So, she says, I don't have to come and stay all night. She's only 2 hours away, and I don't have to stay all night. And if I have to, I'll just bring my sleeping bag and I can sleep standing up. So I told her, I said, did you just hear what I said? Right now, there's no space. But the reason that I really did not want her to come at the time is because how she just called me and she just invited herself into my world. I knew then it was the handler. No, I had not talked to my sister Deborah since I don't know when. The last time I talked to her, she was in the crazy house. And she called me. She was in hell. She called me. She wanted me to do some things for her. So I made these phone calls for her. I had to make these phone calls so she can get her ass up out the crazy house, So I made these phone calls for her. And she got out the crazy house. So as they were releasing her, she called me from like their phone. Because she said her phone was charging. And she was waiting for them to give her some papers or something. And she talked to me then. And then she got her phone. She said, okay, I have my phone is charged and I'm going to call you as soon as I get outside. I didn't hear from her. So I became, I'm like a worry wart, So I started to worry about her. I called her. She did not call back. I called her again. I was worried about her because, wow, she's so fucking, they have her so animated, Anyway, I texted her and stuff, and then something in my mind just said, leave her alone. Shit, everyone's going to die. If they killed her, she's dead. Everyone's going to die. And if she's going to die, then there's nothing I can do. The light company is closed. There's nothing I could do about it. So I left her alone. That's when I was in Richmond. Okay? I've been here over a year. So it's been over a year since I heard from her. Now all of a sudden, she calls my phone. No, she comes to my Facebook page. She said, hey, call me. I didn't want to call her, but she is my sister. So I called her. And that's when she began to, tell me she's coming down and this and that. Okay, so she tells me she's going to call me back, And, I'm telling her about videos and stuff like that. And she says, send them to me. Everyone says send them to them, put it on their Facebook. No one ever looks at them. I must say, one did look at them. His name is Savannah Black. He's from Culture Freedom Radio. He did look at them. He viewed them. I can't say just him, Jay from Jersey. And Jay from Jersey, he passed them on to a brother named Elohim. Yeah, they watched him. So I sent her the videos, right? So she calls me back, and maybe 3 or 4 days later, she still has not watched the videos. She's telling me, as soon as I get off, I'm going to watch them. Yeah, how many times I heard that from you dead motherfuckers. So then she, okay, so from dance, then, okay, I don't hear from her, and I don't call her. I really don't call anyone, because the program is set up that when I call people, they don't answer their phones. And it's not the one I'm calling don't answer their phone. The program has it where either my call does not go through at that time, or as I'm calling them, I can hear the phone ring. They don't. Some will call me 2 or 3 days later. They have a missed call from me 2 or 3 days later. They don't understand the program, that the program can get into your machine and fuck you up. It can get in your phone and fuck you up. So now she calls me maybe 2 weeks later or some shit. She has made a plan. She's giving me all her plans of how she's going to come to my house. And okay, at this time, a lot of things have been lifted off my shoulder. I'm no longer doing these videos. That's a lot to be lifted off my shoulder, although it's a lot to stay in my head. To think of all the bullshit that is going on. Okay, so she made all her plans and shit. I say, okay, whatever. And then she wants to bring in my daughter, and my daughter had already called and said, your sister, she came on my Facebook page, she left me a message and told me to get her number from you and call her. And my daughter said she sent her back and said, look, I don't know you. And she does it. You don't like anything on her page. You don't conversate with her on her page. And you've been on her page how long? She's not on mine. No one's on my page. And now all of a sudden you want something. So now you feel like you can just take your ship and land on everyone's planet, with no warning, So, okay, so I say, okay, you can come. But now she wants, my daughter to get in the bullshit and to pick her up and this and that. And I told her, man, I don't think my daughter would do that shit. Because my daughter already told me she wasn't. So, okay, so now she gets here. She comes down, she gets here, right? Well, if that girl is not robotic. But I did her hair for her anyway, and I wanted to take pictures of her hair, before and after, because, when you do somebody dreadlocks like that, you can make $300 to $400, But I didn't take pictures of her hair because I knew what I would do with that shit. She came down, she treated me. She's in my house. She's 2, maybe 3 hours away from home. That's by train. And she's in my house. And damn near everything she said about me was a stab. I mean, every time she opened her mouth, it was a fucking stab. And then she can't hear anything. Now, she came down maybe a year ago or 2 years ago. 2 years ago, she came down and did her hair. I had dreads. She came in that Friday. She was here from like maybe 1 o'clock, 12 o'clock, in the afternoon, Friday. So Saturday, we're talking, and I say something about my dreads, and she looks at me and said, you have dreads? Wow. I said, wow. Wow. I said, I had dreads the last time you came. I said, you came in yesterday, I had dreads too. Did you think these dreads just grew on my head overnight? That lets me know that that's not my sister. That's the handler. And I knew I was inviting the handler into my house. But I did want to see my sister, but she's no longer my sister, She is only flesh. She's no longer my sister. She's only flesh. And what you are hearing, that's our toilet. It pisses on its own. I had to turn the water off because it just run. The water just keeps running in the toilet. It wasn't like that. Me and my son went somewhere, and when we came back, the bitch was running. I knew someone had been in here. So now, sometimes it even pisses on its own. Isn't that something? A toilet that can piss on its own. Wow. So, and it flushes on its own too. Like when I come through the door to use the bathroom, I can hear a toilet flush. Maybe it just got pissing on its own. So, okay, so now she's here, and everything I say, everything she says about me as a stab, everything I say, it is an argument. So I on the phone, this is what she said to me on the phone before she got here. She said, "Oh, when I get there, you're not going to put me out, are you? You know I never put her crazy ass out. Never in my life have I ever put her crazy ass out of my house. And I'll call her crazy. She's my sister. I can do so." And then she says something about me putting her out, and she's walking the streets and this and that. And I said, why are you talking about that? Are you thinking about bringing your handler here so you know I'm going to put you out? Your handler knows I'm going to put your ass out. See, that's what her handler wanted me to do. And it took every inch in my body not to put that crazy bitch out of my house. And yes, now I call my sister a bitch because that's not my sister. I mean, it's the flesh of my sister, but that brain cells and maybe even the blood that runs through her veins is not connected to me. The only thing I can see in my sister that's connected to me is her flesh. That's it. So I asked, I say, why are you saying these things? You know, that's negative. I say, you're bringing negativity in already, and you're not even here. I said, I know when you come through my door, I know your handler will be coming through with you. So, now, Kiwi comes over, you know, and my grandson Timothy Richardson. And my sister Deborah is sitting like right here, and Timothy Richardson is sitting right next to her. All I could think about was these. And Rachel Jenkins, she was here also. So, oh, no. Rachel did not come while my sister was here. Rachel came the day of my Earth Day. They all walked in together, like marched in like soldiers. I thought that was pretty keen. So they had them to sit, you know, Tim was sitting right next to my sister. See, Richardson, Deborah Richardson comes right there. And they even noticed that every time my sister said something about me, it was a stab. Then she wants to go back into her memory, which is really totally fucked up, and begin to tell my daughter something about me as a child. You know, me and my friends as a child. She said, oh, they used to sit around and play tonk all day long. That's all they did, and then they would fight each other. I looked at my daughter, I said, see, I told you. She thinks she knows me, but she doesn't. And then I cleared that damn mess up that she tried to make. That was all to defame my character, even from a child. I really wanted to put this girl out of my house. When she found out that I did have dreads on my head, she finally could see out her own fucking eyes. The handler got mad. So she started in on me. You know, the first thing she said, I'm self-absorbed. I don't care about that. I'm self-absorbed. I mean, I told her, whose self am I supposed to be absorbed in? See, she became absorbed in other people's self. That's how she got her ass on drugs, and I told her that. If I had not been self-absorbed, I'd have been absorbed in someone else, and I'd probably be on drugs too, or a prostitute, or some stupid shit, you know? So from then, she just kept going and going. And so I told her, I said, you know, you're so disrespectful. And you're in my apartment You're 2 or 3 hours away from home. I could put you out in the streets. And I didn't want to put her out in the streets because she came to live with me here years ago. You know, my children are grown. They were children, you know, at the time. She came here to live with me and lived in Chula Vista. And this time when I told her where I live, she said, oh, yeah, I know what that is. Look at that. It says Bettina Duncan. Yeah, them bitches trying to dunk my ass. She said, oh, yeah, I know what that is. I used to hang out there. I said, you used to hang out in this area? Do you know this is the graveyard? And she said, yeah, I used to hang out there. I said, when? When did you live here? She said, when I used to live with you. Remember, you lived down there in Chula Vista? And I said, oh, yeah, I remember. I said, this was your stomping ground? She said, yeah. I started to really feel bad for her because this has always been, to me, the Valley of the Dry Bones. You know, the graveyard, this area. It's always been the graveyard to me. This is 26 minutes and I'm going to come back. I'm just going to tell this story. Shit talk a little about.